list, I'm just gonna put the characters in an actual rank tier list. So again, D rank, they need help. C rank, they are underpowered. B rank, they're fine, relatively average, but nothing amazing. A rank, they're good. S rank, they're very good. EX rank, they're absolutely busted. So I'll even put need help. Unpowered. Average / okay. Good. Very good. And well, broken, for lack of a better word. Broken. I want to say this. Well, before I start putting them up, just because whatever character ends up in either D or C are there, they are not unplayable. Okay? This is my opinion on them and what I feel they'd be, where they'd be in these. And it's not whoever's in D or C, especially D, is not unplayable. You can still play the character and do fine. I've seen success with characters from D or C. Actually, I can make success from characters from C and D. So it is possible. It's just the amount of work you need to put in for a character in D is a lot less than the amount of work you need to put in for a character in EX. Okay? Point then there. Let's start this. We're gonna start with, I guess, by the order over here. So first up, Archimedes. He's okay. This is Archimedes. As I already said in my review of him, he's got good skills. He has a shield break combo, but it suffers from, like, how to explain. But he suffers from his skills, the majority of them having a bit of a delay. Drive skill, which is nice for killing, but has no immunity. And just all around, he doesn't have any surefire way to kill things. Even with that combo, it doesn't kill, I'm pretty sure. He does have an interesting tool in the slow zone, but his slow zone is slightly worse than another character's. The other character with a slow zone, which it will be Gilgamesh. But he's still fine. He's still okay. He's relatively average. Arjuna, he's a C, a high C. He's almost B, being fair. But Arjuna suffers from no skill combos on his kit. None of his skills really combo on his kit. His skills, all of them have some kind of delay, except maybe Flame Pillar, and that's the only small exception. And it's not a good exception because you're still stuck doing the animation of it. His longest range skill is shorter range than some of the other archer range skills. And for a character that's all about archery, and his longest range skill is shorter than the other archers, and he's the most archer of them. Actually, I have a better prerogative. When his rival, who's a lancer, is a better archer than he is, we have a problem. And that's the point. He does have good drive gain, though. He has very good drive gain, depending on the skills you put on him. Also, he is terrible at getting towers. Absolute awful at getting towers. He is a pure out-of-point character, almost a pure out-of-point character. It is very hard to play him on point, so warning. So, he's a C. Artoria. Hey, she's good. She has a buff skill, which is a plus, She has Invisible Air, which is ridiculously good. It's one of the best out of block options skills ever. She has one combo, which has a death combo, but that death combo requires them being close to you and you hitting a perfect Excalibur, which is not easy. I mean, not a perfect Excalibur. Hitting Excalibur and them being close enough that you can then Invisible Air them. So it has a few prerequisites. She also has good drive gain. Her main weakness is, my lord, that drive skill is absolute trash. It is the worst drive skill in the game, point done. There's no other saying here. It is an absolutely trash drive skill. And as I said, their skills are good, especially Invisible Air. That one is actually really good, but they're not amazing. Besides Invisible Air, all the other skills are okay at best. She's a high A though, don't take me wrong, but not that high. Astolfo, high B, mainly due to the reasoning that he is heavily counterable. His main shtick is his rush skill that can hit multiple times compared to just about every other rush skill in the game. Can hit one person multiple times and kill in 2 attacks. It basically can kill in 2 hits of Hippogriff. But because of Astolfo's reliance on so much on this one rush skill, he is very easily counterable by quite a few characters. Any character that has a counter or has any kind of bullshit range skill will basically counter Astolfo quite a bit. I know Astolfo has counter and he has power up, a buff skill, and he has a mini slow, but while there are neat tools to use and there are neat tools to have, your biggest DPS contribution will always be Hippogriff, no matter what. That's your whole thing, is basically Hippogriff. The rest is there to aid you while you don't have Hippogriff up. Because he's so over-reliant. Also, his basic attacks are not that great. Hippogriff kinda saves him from being worse, though. He is good, he's okay, but that's where it stops. Normal Altera, she's okay, she's good. She's below Artoria, though. As I said in my review, she is all around the board fine. She's got a fine close range skill, she's got a fine projectile skill too, actually. And she's got a good she has a good buff skill. Her drive skill is good, but nothing amazing. And her basic attacks are fine, but nothing amazing. Her whole thing is, you're fine, but that's it. You're only good. You don't pass that line of just average or of good. You never go into great or exceptional. Even Artoria, at least at Invisible Air, is very strong. She doesn't really have anything that's very strong, making her, while I feel a good character, not that bullshit character. Charlie, low S. Mainly due to two main reasons why he's low S. While I will say his skills have these weird delays on them, and his basic attacks speed is relatively normal, his strength is in 2 things. One, well actually 3, my bad, 3 things. One, he has death combos involving Circle. It involves Circle and one of his other 2 abilities, which is either Eruption or Tornado. You will kill with a combo from these skills. You have pretty good drive gain as well. But the main things, you have passive defense, giving you a little bit of armor over other people while using skills, which is ridiculous. But even better than that, his is buff skill. The buff skill of the gods, by far the best buff skill in this game. Why? Because you can literally kill a character with a full basic attack chain outside of drive, with just basic attacks. Yep, Just basic attacks is more than enough to kill people with this character. It's as simple as that. It's doesn't make sense. There's no proper explanation onto why. But he's just bullshit. He's just bullshitly good. Well, there's not much to say there. Larva. He's very good. My bad. He's very good. He does have weaknesses. As I said, he is slow on his attacks, as I said. Relative. A bit slow on his attacks, and his skills also come out a little slower. But the main weakness he has, just like Artoria though, his drive skill is the second worst in the game. So, yeah. He also has that weakness. Larva. Absolutely broken. Best character in the game. Just everything on her kit hurts a lot. Twinkle Star is bullshit. Her basic attacks are incredibly fast. She has a buff skill. Her drive skill gives her immunity. And it has a long range. She just does way too many things good. She just doesn't properly have a weakness. For a character, she does not have a proper weakness. So, it's as simple as that, she's broken. Cucullin, he's good. He's okay. He's B. He's like not as good as a Stolf, I'd say, but he's better at Archimedes. He's a very underrated character by people, in my opinion. He is like, he's got a buff skill, even though it's the only buff skill with a negative attached to it. He has an invulnerability skill, the only character with an invul skill based, or skill that is consistently invulnerable while doing it. And he has pretty good single target damage with problems. Also, his basic attacks are fine. He has pretty good, decent basic attacks. Problems. His drive skill while giving him immunity doesn't go very far. A la Altera. And it's inconsistent. His Gay Bolg, one of his better skills, is inconsistent, in which it can hit and do absolutely no damage. Watch out for that. He does not have range at all. No skill on his kit has range. And that's about it. And also he's extremely single target. He does not. The only thing that's technically decently AoE is his projectile, which is Magical Spear Throw. And even for a projectile, it's probably one of the shortest ranged projectiles of its type. So basically, he is fine, but he has obvious weaknesses, which, with the lack of consistency, drive skill that's about fine only, and also the only skill that really shines on him is Fangs of the Earth, which is invulnerability. And even that can be planned against, because people with counters exist, and you can counter the end of it. And then basically... Oh, by the way, countering while he's in his zigzag does nothing. Countering him after he goes to do the thing that he gets out of the zigzag, he gets hurt. That's the point. That's when you should counter. He's still okay. He's fine. He's not underpowered. I feel he's in a fine place. Nothing amazing though. Darius, S. He's bullshit. Or not as bullshit as who's up there, obviously. He doesn't, he's a berserker. He suffers from Berserker's curse, which is your drive lasts like 5 seconds. Not 5 seconds, it lasts so little time. It doesn't matter. It is a shame. No, it isn't. For him, hell no. But it doesn't matter to him. Even though his drive does not have a big lasting duration, and his drive skill is meh, relatively very mediocre, if not bad. It's more mediocre than bad. The thing is, he can be interrupted out of it, but it doesn't matter. Not only does he have the longest, probably the longest range of basic attacks, and on his basic attacks, because he's freaking huge, he also does a lot of damage on everything. All of his skills are good in some way, shape, or form, and some of them are actually outright bullshit, specifically Flame Axe of Destruction. That one can go, which is the X slash, as I like to call it, which is absolute bullshit. And his skills have way too much range, like as well. He is just a giant, massive force of destruction, while you still have attack speed. Once you don't have attack speed anymore on him, you kind of fall off a little bit, a tiny smidge, but it's not much. He still doesn't. It helps a lot, but it doesn't absolutely need it to absolutely, destroy people. Next up, Drake. She's C. She's like the second, probably one of the worst characters in the game, unfortunately. She only has damage skills to start off. Her damage skills, out of all of them, only three of them can I consider good, or at least okay. Dance Macabre's good, Make Way is okay, and Golden Anchor is okay in certain situations. I even have to be specific on Golden Anchor. Dance Macabre is her close range skill, does its job perfectly fine, but it's not amazing. Make Way is her best clear skill, and the safest skill in her kit as well. It is the safest skill in her kit, warning, by the way, is this skill. And it's only okay because not only is its damage not amazing, you're probably only using it to gain drive because you're probably not going to hit a lot of people with it. Golden Anchor is okay in certain situations, because it can go over terrain, except roofs, because screw them. By the way, it can get stuck on roofs, watch out. But it can go over certain terrain and can basically bypass walls. However, you are stuck doing that whole animation. If you're gonna use the skill, you have to be careful. And then you have Crossfire, which is her better rush skill, which is just a tiny rush skill that does fine damage, is not very fast, and doesn't do a lot. Simple as that, right? My bad about this. Oops. And that's it. The other three skills pretty much suck, and the last skill that's left is the only thing she has left is drive, and the thing that doesn't make her D rank is because she has very good drive gain, and that's it. But she has very little kill potential unless you can hit someone with Dance Macabre. Besides that, also, her drive skill is interruptible. It has good range, but it is completely 100% interruptible. Making it just... God damn it. I wish it was immune. So yeah, she's C. Elizabeth. I'm sorry, Liz, but probably the worst character in the game. I love Liz as a character, but this game does not do her justice. Absolutely not, in my opinion. She has combos, but all of the combos she has are extremely timey finicky and extremely hard to execute. Also, the combos are inconsistent because of the skill that they are based on to work. Her only actual good, 100% good skill is one. And that one skill is goddamn Bloody Iron Maiden. It is the only good skill she has, technically speaking. Maybe the rush skill is fine, but that's where it stops. She's like... if you can't use Black Iron Maiden, you basically are screwed with her. Her other skills are either very vulnerable, or are much worse versions of other character skills. And I mean much worse. And comparatively to Tamamo and Emio, two of those skills. Her close range skill is a joke. Her Berserker AoE skill is a joke. Her rush skill's fine. Her maiden is the best skill she has. Her sealed vocal room of isolation is very punishable, but she doesn't have anything much better than that. And she has a worse version of Fake Kalat Bolg and a worse version of Frigid Heaven. Congratulations. You just made a... Basically, why should you play this instead of, like, characters like, you know, either Tamamo or Emiya? There really isn't much of a chance. There really isn't much of a choice. You'll only play her for Bloody Iron Maiden, and that's where it stops. Gawain. S. Very close to EX. He's just not EX because he's not complete outright bullshit. He's very close to it, being fair. But he's not complete outright bullshit. He has skills that don't work very well. Or that don't work very well. Like, he only uses everyone only uses like 4 to 5 of his skills. But he has the best counter in the game because of his buff, because he has a buff skill attached to it that increases the range, or else that counter is actually not that great. He has the second hardest hitting skill in the game, right behind Karna's spear throw. He has passive defense. He has berserker levels of damage, and a close range skill that's actually a long range skill that hits hard, obviously. Why isn't he EX? Because the reasoning is more like his drive skill is not amazing, is actually kind of sad compared to the characters above. His drive skill is not only sad, he's a little sad comparatively, and that's about it. That is the only reason he's not up there. His drive skill is a bit sad. Like, he has a lot of things going for him, though. Gilgamesh. S. Like, low S. A bit above, probably about Charlie, but it's still low. It's hard to say, actually. Actually, probably lower than Charlie. Gilgamesh is a very strong character in the right hands. He can probably output some of the higher damage levels because of Gate of Babylon. He also has, again, he has the easiest skill to guard break with. He has the only skill that when you target someone, it will basically spawn on top of them. And he has some really good long range skills, and he has a counter and a stun. A very good stun, and a good stun, I mean, not very good. A good stun and and he has a counter point. The negative is of him, why he's only low S, is because, well, he doesn't have a buff skill to start off. His drive skill is, like, not very good because he's not immune, but it's fast. It's fast, but he's not immune. But the problem he has most is he's not a point, well, it's not a problem, he's not a point character. But the main problems, again, are his drive skill is not very good, and he has no buff skill. If he did have one of these, he might be higher in S rank. Also, a few of his skills require some setup, but they are so bullshitly good, it doesn't really matter in this case. Except, I need you, idiot. I see you, idiot. Not I need you, idiot. I see you, idiot. That's really bad. Gilderay, A. Lower than Altair and Arturi? Yes. Why A, you're asking? Has various routes to death combo. He has death combos. Skill death combos. Very easy. Not easy routes, but he does have them. More than one route. Probably the best CC in the game, being that he has free purple skills. Don't use free purple skills, please. At most 2 of them. Do not use all 3 of them, please. That's not a good idea. He has a really good AoE anti-Astolfo Hippogriff skill, specifically. But a very good AoE skill in front of him that catches way too many people. And yeah, that's about it. His weaknesses are a bit more obvious. His drive gain is okay, but nothing amazing. His drive skill can be interrupted and should probably only be used either if you're safe or inside your big slow. You have that tool. Also, your big slow is one of your best tools. Use it. And finally, he has like very meh basic attacks. Yeah, that's about it. There's not much more. Oh, no buff skill. So there you go. He has also no buff skill. But he's still, because of the amount of death combos he has, and you know the utility that is his bigger and smaller slow, in my opinion, to winning matches, he is still worth it. Also, he has some of the easiest time clearing towers, so go for it. He has a very easy time clearing towers as well. The other characters above also have easy times clearing towers, if you're wondering, by the way. Jeanne, she's an A. She's also good. Her skills are very good. Like, actually very good skills. But what keeps her in A, the main point that keeps her in A, is her NP kills her and her drive skill hurts her. That's it. Also no buff skill. But the main reason is not having a buff skill. It's her NP kills her. She's the only character in the game whose NP kills her, the person. And there's another ruler in the game that does not die for the NP. It's ridiculous why that's a thing. Poor John, but I'm sorry. EX. Next up, Rex Magnus. EX. Everything works. I mean, it's just everything on him works. Everything flows really well on him. He's fun to play, actually. Everything flows really well on him. He has drive immunity and a pretty good drive, actually. And it's probably one of the better around him AoE drives with the immunity. He has, like, he does not have a buff skill. He's the only EX without a kind of a buff skill. He doesn't need it, though. If he had one, oh boy, he'd probably be like right below Altera or above Altera Larva. He has, like, his skills just flow very well into each other. He can combo skills. He has multiple death combos of just skill chaining. It's ridiculous. Also, his basic attacks are fast and hurt. So, yeah, he doesn't have a lot of weakness except the point that he has no buff skill. Else, he'd probably be above. He might have been above Altera Larva. Might. Also, he has a stun, but the stun is okay. Karna, S. Low rank S. It's hard to say who's above between Karna and Gilgamesh. It's somewhere around here. It's hard to say who's better, Karna or Gilgamesh. They're very close. They both have really good range skills. Karna especially has some really ridiculous range skills. His Obrama Curse Me at point blank is the hardest hitting skill in the game, where it can one-shot a person. Actually, you know what? Let's do it like this. It can one-shot a person. Also, his lightning has ridiculous range, and it goes beyond the animation of lightning. His weaknesses. No buff skill, obviously. Besides the two super long range skills, the other two skills, while good, are a bit riskier to use. His drive skill, it can hit walls and can be dissipated by freaking walls, which is dumb for some reason. Though he is immune during the drive skill. And that's about it. He's still very strong just because of he can one-shot someone. Also, he has longer range on his basic attacks than your normal character. But because of that, his attacks are also a bit slower. Lubu, he's good. He's like he's on the average to okay. He's the fastest berserker of the three, technically speaking. Not at gaining drive. Nobody beats Darius on that department, on the berserker side of things. He's very fast because of his buff skill, but because of his buff skill, he's also extremely reliant on it. He's extremely reliant on his buff skill for his skills to have actually good speed. But if his skills actually have good speed, they all hurt a lot. He does a lot of damage and can basically kill you in a simple combo. Basic attack into skill combo. It's a very simple combo and everything. It's not even that hard to do. So he's got a lot of that going for him. Weaknesses. Well, first he has one of the third worst drive skill in the game. Actually, no, take it back. Second worst. He's like better than Artoria, but worse than goddamn Charlie. Because it takes forever to go and it has no range. It has absolutely no range as well. The only good thing is he doesn't shout out of the top of his lungs while doing it. Also, while his skills are good and he's really fast, his weakness is very obvious. He's very much a rush down character type, where you gotta take advantage while nobody's on drive and can just, ignore you completely. Because also when you're on drive, you want to kill as much as you can with him. Also, counters are his bane in Doom, since only one of his skills is long range, everything else is short range, meaning that counters basically just say, screw you, you're gonna die. So, because of the weaknesses he has, he's probably a B. He's a pretty good B, but still a B. Lancelot, he's a C. He's like the middle of C rank. He is a sad berserker. He's a berserker who should be fast but isn't. He's like, remember what they did with Lubu? That's what Lancelot should be. He should be a really fast berserker, but for some reason everything he does is sluggish, except hunting dog. For some dumb reason. The only reason he's even a C rank and not like lower is because he actually has a death combo, which is involving his counter. But that means you have to hit your counter, which is not very easy when your counter has the range of a finger, like barely anything. Like it's like either they're right next to you or you're never gonna hit that counter. I mean, but if you hit it, you got a confirmed kill. Congratulations, you will kill someone right there and then. His basic attacks are a double-edged sword, where they're very good for pursual, but then if you don't have attack speed, they are too slow to actually do that job. And then the rest of his skills just all have delay. Every single goddamn one of his skills have delay except hunting dog and counter. Makes no sense. The good point though, he does have a drive skill that gives him immunity, but is extremely inconsistent on what it wants to hit, or how far it goes, or where it hits. It makes no sense. So he's a character that either is very dependent on what happens. Either way, he's a very defensive berserker. Also, he suffers from berserker weakness, meaning his drive skills last less. Same thing for Lubu, obviously. That's why he's in C, by the way. Li Xuan, EX, second best character in the game. If Larva didn't exist, Li Xuan is the best character. Invisibility is he has got invisibility, 50% extra damage while invisible on everything he does. Really the most bullshit rush skill in the game. Very, very, very good drive gain and some of the easiest time at doing air combos / infinites. Also, a drive skill that once you hear him coming, it's too late, you're dead. Just literally, with a huge range and he's immune during the whole thing. Medusa. I'm gonna give her a low A. She's a low A mainly because her kit is very disjointed, because not a lot of it makes sense together, but some of the tools she has are very strong, which is her buff skill is probably one of the best buff skills in the game, probably second to third best. It's a draw with Lubu there, where it gives her attack speed. She has the only stun that bypasses Barry shield in the game, and she has a very good close range attack. But then a lot of her other skills are very vulnerable. A lot of her other skills are very vulnerable. Also, I forgot this. Her other very good thing, her drive skill is really fast and hits all around her, meaning it's really good to kill people. She has a very good kill people drive skill. It also looks a lot like her freaking normal Blood Fortune Andromeda, which is goddamn annoying, because everybody in that plays her uses Blood Fortune Andromeda. So there you go. My wife is strong. But either way, she is good, but unfortunately, as I said, her skills are very disjointed, meaning you're never gonna have a sure kill combo between skills on her. She has like decent basic attacks, but very good actually basic attacks, and aerial basic attacks. The reason she isn't higher is because none of her skills are that broken or very, very strong. Her buff skill is probably her best skill, or her stun, even though the stun is bullshit. It has a weakness, which is it's really slow. She uses it very slowly, but obviously it has the plus that goes for guard. So that's why she's low A. She's like still good, don't take me wrong, but if she had something more amazing, maybe she'd be higher. Narrow. I'm still on the fence on this. I'm gonna give her an A, almost an S. She's called the helicopter for a reason, because of air combos. She has the easiest time doing it in the game. One of the easiest times doing it. But her skills are where she suffers a little bit. Meaning that while one of her her buff skill doesn't really do anything besides give you priority, which is fine by itself. But her normal skills, one of them is really strong and gives you a lot of drive. The other two are very good combo killers, like if you can hit them. She has a lot of potential to kill with just the skills, and her basic attacks are fine. The only reason I don't put her in S is her drive skill, while good because it gives you immunity, it's not the best drive skill I've seen. Like, it's a little too slow to be as effective on killing department. But like, my main problem is her other two skills are very much leave her vulnerable if you're not paying attention. She's still pretty good, don't take me wrong. I still think she's a very close S. But I'm gonna leave it at A for now. She's almost at S. Well, Emiya, S. He is the best archer in the game. Easy. Has a buff skill. Every skill in his kit is good in some way, shape, or form. His close range skills hurt and do a lot of damage. His long range skills give him a ton of drive. And he's really fast, has very good basic attacks, either on the ground or in the air. And his drive skill is like a much better version of Artorias' drive skill. Again, the only reason he's not higher is while his skills are all very good, none of them are broken. None of them have a hinge. There's no broken build on him. He's like, he's very strong, but he's not broken. Let's just say that. Okay? Let's go with that. His drive skill is very good though. Robin, B. He's like a pretty good B. Above Kukulane, I'd say. He is like the assassin. He's more of an assassin than the Shuen. He will kill you from far away without you even knowing, because his whole shtick is he's gonna kill you while invisible and you're not expecting. He's a very good assassin. The problem is his basic attacks suck. His skills don't really combo together, except two of them, I think. Very much so. And up close range, he doesn't do very well. He does have one other positive though. His drive skill is actually one of the better kill life drive skills, but it requires practice, and I mean a lot of practice to use. Unfortunately, though, he just suffers from terrible basic attacks, and generally, in a 1v1 scenario, is not good. In a non-1v1 scenario, he's very nice to have, but he's not gonna win any prizes on point. Again, he also has a decent drive gain, not amazing. He does not have amazing drive gain, meaning that he's okay. He's very okay. Again, if some things were patched on him, I'd say it'd be A, but he's still okay. Skazaha, it is hard to say where she belongs. She's in an uncanny valley between A and B. I'm gonna put her in A, just barely. Actually, I've played her a little bit more. I can say she's probably okay at best. Yeah, I'm going with a high okay. She's very close to being an A, being fair. She doesn't have a buff skill, but she has probably the best stun in the game. Pretty much the best stun in the game, and she will basically just destroy you once the stun goes off. She hits the stun. However, the rest of her skills are a bit inconsistent. Like, specifically Thorns only does its damage at the end. Her rush skills are she's a hard to use character with 2 rush skills, while good but punishable. With the only thing not being that punishable is either her stun or her fire ability. A good drive skill, but then her basic attacks are like, could be good if her third basic light attack didn't slow her down completely for some dumb reason. Meaning she is like, could have been a good, if not very good character, if not for a few faults. Tamamo, she's good. She's an A, mainly for some reasons. I still think she's an A. She has great drive gain. Decent but inconsistent killing potential. And a drive skill that only gives her immunity and technically almost never kills anyone. It almost never does. However, she does have one thing she has, which is the only heal skill in the game. Because of that heal skill, I kinda have to put her a little higher. Because the heal is really good. And it's like not just for her, it's for your whole team, and it lasts quite a bit. But that's it. Her basic attacks are actually decent, but she has no big super combos of death. And 2 of her skills require her to either be or make her actually vulnerable. The only one that the biggest hitting skill on her kit, the hardest hitting one, is inconsistent at hitting and doing damage, a la Kukulin. The only thing that puts her in A, in my opinion, is still that heal, giving her a boost. Skandar. And finally, Skandar, Easy X. He's like the first. He's like, it's hard to say who's better, if it's him or Rex Magnus. But I give the point to Skandar mainly because he has a buff skill. And that's about it. That's the only reason I put him above. The only reason Skandar is EX is because of a specific freaking build he has. By the way. Because of this one build, he's EX. Which is the dimensional Skandar build, where he gets drive faster than anyone else in the game, can spam his skills like it's nobody's business, has the weirdest counter in the game that somehow can hit beyond its animation, and he has a buff skill. His basic attacks are fine, nothing amazing, but then he has the highest killing, one of the highest, if not the highest, potential killing, like, drive skill in the game. where it is not only global in the sector, it also is extremely fast. He just has such a good drive skill, and he can get drive so fast. You're gonna be seeing a lot of chariots from him. And that's about it. This is the tier list. The ones above, really bullshitly strong, need a nerf. The ones down here probably needed a buff. It's as simple as that. Anyways, and with that, I'm taking a break now. I hope you guys enjoyed this stream, and I hope to see you again next time. Next time around, I do a stream. It will not, and I repeat, it will definitely not be a guide stream. It is over. The guide streams, this is it. I can still answer questions about characters if you have it during me doing some other kind of stream, but this is done. There is no more guides for Fate Extella Link. After this, Fate Extella Link will just be multiplayer games if I can find someone to play multiplayer with, and that's it. Anyways, chat, I hope you enjoyed this, and I hope to see you next time. The guides will also be going up soon. Anyways, have a good one, people. See you next time.